Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to get singles for all your Force of Will and other trading card games, as well as these amazing patrons.
Thank you for your support. Enjoy the video.
Hey there, Rulers, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for the Utility Machina that you saw me play a couple weeks ago. I apologize for the delay in getting this list to you. Everything has been kind of going a little bit crazy with what's going on in the world, but we still have time for deck profiles, something to keep us warm and safe and fun as we continue to play our nerdy card games, mainly online for the time being. But obviously, Utility Machina, this list was designed by Derrick Mugwaneza. We're still trying to get the all-in Machina list, so hopefully we'll get that sometime in the next week, but I wanted to bring you guys this today. So let's jump right in. The whole take on this list is that it's designed to try to have the opportunity to do everything that Machina wants to be able to do while getting the most amount of efficiency out of it and being able to quickly turn the corner from one technique to the next based on kind of what the situation is. So it's a lot of quick utility, maximizing value as best as we can, and being able to kind of pivot what we're doing at any one given time. So our ruler is Machina. Obviously, when we get a Regalia, we're going to be getting Strangers or Judgmenting. You never really use the put 5 counters on Maribel too often. It's mainly get a couple tokens and a Stranger. Sometimes, though, you'll choose to put 5 counters on and then do Judgment for free. There's a lot of different versatility to it. We're mainly using these Strangers and the tokens for that for front mode. And then obviously on the back side, we have that good old 12-12 who becomes a 22-22 with Pierce, has natural Pierce, but 22-22 as long as Maribel is animated as a Resonator. Maribel has to be a Resonator in order to be able to give Machina the pump. Going into the stone base, we play 4 Adoraktia's Memoria, 4 Deepwood, and then 2 Dark Depths. We want to only splash the black, really only a couple cards that use it, so we primarily want that blue-green everywhere. And then we'll go into the Strangers last. So quickly to go through the main deck, playing a single copy of Percival, just because it is a 40th card and it can help you dig into a nice potential determination for cheap, which is nice. This deck doesn't have a ton of searching. It has like raw card draw once you get to the Maribella's work, but outside of like being able to search for your machines, you don't really have a way to grab determination effectively. So Percival just kind of helps to buffer that a little bit more than just using Maribella's work. A single copy of Vivian, because sometimes if you can get the infinite combo and have a million counters on Vivian, it's crazy. And also you can just use it to tap down stuff down and keep yourself safe and do a lot of utility. It essentially kind of fills the role that Underwater Robot does without having to main Underwater Robot. So there you go. 4 copies of Maribella. This should be pretty obvious. Helps to turn on your Maribella's your Maribel Type 0, helps you get any machine you want. We are maximizing the value out of this card crazy amounts. One, because it's a machine, so we can animate it with Lab, but you can also use it with March of the Dead, and you can just kind of cycle this card as many times as you want, which is awesome. Quick change here, noticing, we'll get down to that. 2 copies of Guinevere. We don't want to go all in on the combo, but we want to have the option for it, especially since we're not playing Camelot. It doesn't really make sense to play more than just 2 copies of Guinevere, and sometimes she just steals games even without the infinite, so that's why we play her in there. A single copy of Remote Control Beasts, because again, sometimes you can just like throw out and like steal the game with this card, especially if you're drawing a bunch of cards on a turn with determination off of Maribella's works and stuff like that. It's just a free body to help ramp you up that way. Deus Ex Machina. We don't produce a ton of counters other than the ones that are on Maribel, particularly after God Art. So this is a nice follow-up to the God Art. So like you can like burn all the counters on Maribel after she swung, and then turn it into a Deus Ex, and then suddenly you can put all those counters back on her and have this other body. It's just kind of ways to maximize, again, that pivoting based on the situation. Lots of unique techs to be able to change your victory condition there as needed. 4 copies of Maribel Type 0. Any Regalia deck is going to be running 4 copies of its main Regalia. 4 Machine Lab, because again, at the value center, everything in this deck is a machine. A lot of it costs 2 or less. Machine Lab is just essentially an extra copy of all of them, which is great. Also can get back your Maribel Type 0, which is awesome. 3 copies of Buster Rifle and 4 copies of Shield, because this is essentially, not only is it extra damage, but it also is a removal spell, which is amazing. And then this is extra protection, but also great ways to like win value trades. You just get so much work, and also protecting your Maribel Type 0. Ultimate Shield is absolutely a phenomenal card for this deck, providing you so much protection and utility, especially once you get that like turn 1, this into turn 2 Maribel type 0, you just are kind of like set up for a majority of the game. Because so little things right now have the ability to, in the same turn, answer Shield and answer Maribel. 4 copies of Maribella's work, we get a ton of machines very fast. This is just free draw power at instant speed. 3 copies of Bewildering Charm, because we need some extra removal, which is nice. 2 copies of Erendite, because those are helpful to be able to cancel enter effects right now. And then 2 copies of March of the Dead, because we have a lot of small bodies. It can also even hit a Deus Ex Machina, which is cute, but also primarily going to be using it to grab Maribella for like maximum efficiency. And then lastly, just 4 copies of Determination of the Machine Lord. If you're not going to push for lethal the turn, this card is also just amazing in upkeep to go grab a shield or a buster rifle, or set up for a play for a machine lab if you need to get a machine to the grave. You know, you use this, pay 2, using Maribel during the upkeep, put a shield into play, put a buster rifle into the grave, and then you follow that up by like playing machine lab on the following turn, and you get the buster rifle back into play, and just kind of like suddenly you have this armed and equipped Maribel who's ready to rock. And then Stranger-wise, we're playing a single copy of Undine to be able to deal with other regalia, because we don't really have any in the main deck. 2 Healing Gimmick for some additional draw power, as well as copy machines. A Twin Swords to be able to recycle stuff. Again, you could play it as 2 Undine. It's kind of based on what your meta is going to be. Either one, I think, is worth the time. 2 Deep Green Magician Lizzes. 2 Sprite of the Treasure Tree, because this is an excellent way to follow up if you are struggling to find one of your 2 Dark Death Stones. You can use Sprout to like pay 1 green, use Sprout, produce triple black by discarding a card that you're going to reanimate anyway, and then you can awaken March of the Dead off of the Sprout immediately and get like the Sprout back, which is a crazy way to get value. Get 2 Maribels back. Like, there's just so many things you can do with it in those kind of things. It's in those kind of situations. It's a really good way to keep your value momentum going. It's just really good. And then lastly, 2 Mirage Golem, because he's a machine, he's quick cast, we can give him flying, we can do all kinds of stuff, and it's a nice little protective wall. So that is the list. Hope you guys like it. Let me know what you guys think or how you're running Machine Machina differently in the comment sections down below. And until next time, this is DMO73 saying, class dismissed.